Hi, friend, and welcome to another episode of the Quantum Paradigm Podcast. I'm so happy that you are here because today we're going to talk about something that is not often talked about in business coaching circles and business growth strategy circles. And that is how your trauma could be the greatest asset in your business. Now, what am I talking about, right? We'll get into it. Hi, Erin. Hi. If you're here today, welcome. If you're catching this on the podcast, welcome. I just want you to know your trauma can be the greatest asset in your business. It can also be the greatest liability. Okay, it's both. My last name is Alchemia. That is the root word for alchemy. If you know anything about alchemy, you know that the ancient alchemists took lead and dark matter such as lead and turned it into gold, or at least that was the cosmic experiment that they were, engaging in, the mystical goal that they had. Now, trauma is the same, right? Trauma is the same as lead. It can sit there and it can weigh you down. It can sit there, it can stop you in your tracks in your business and stop you from taking aligned action, or it can be turned into gold. It can be your greatest asset. Okay? So let's kind of get into this. I don't have a script for today, I rarely do, but I want to share with you guys, I've been talking with some amazing people lately. Erin says, I'm so in this right now. Yes, I hear you. I've been talking, the universe has brought so many beautiful souls into my realm lately who have had some pretty serious trauma in the past several years and in childhood and whatever. Now, I have to say I'm not a certified therapist. However, I encountered my first big T trauma at the tender age of 3 months, and it just continued for about 40 years. I'm laughing, it's not funny. However, I know a thing or two about deep and heavy trauma, and I've done a lot of work around this. And the work that I do with my clients is more neo-shamanic in nature, right? We go to the other realms. We also go deep within the subconscious, safely and very, very mindfully and carefully. But we do that because it comes up. And if you are here in this world wanting to help other people, if you're here in this world and you want to start a business, or you have a business and you're wanting to scale it, and you're hitting these growth edges, I can guarantee you, whether you have big T trauma in your past, or whether you felt left out on the playground at school when you were a kid, that's traumatic, right? That we would call that quote unquote little T trauma in the trauma informed circles. But those are the things that will hold you back. That is what can keep 2025 from being an impact year for you in business. Okay? Because when you come up against those growth edges, you have a choice to make. And go back and listen a couple of podcast episodes ago where I'm talking about decision making as a CEO. The decisions never end, right? They're every single day, constant. And so when you're making these decisions, you need to be able to move fluidly through them and be in your power. Now, what would keep you from being in your power? Things that have happened in the past that have told you it's unsafe to be seen. It's unsafe to be heard, for your voice to be activated and for you to be heard. It's unsafe to let all of who you are, out. Now, of course, there's times and places and context for all these things, right? However, if you are holding back or being paralyzed by fear, it's very, very likely. In fact, I would bet money that it's based in a limiting subconscious pattern that is based in trauma, right? So my background is in functional medicine health coaching, and we're looking for the root. That's what I do with my clients and the energetics, okay? We find the root that is holding them back. I just had a beautiful sales call with someone who is signing on for one-on-one mentorship, and her goal is to break 7 figures in the next 12 months. And she's like, I've got all the strategies, Allison, all the strategies. They're here. Boom, 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 and boom. She's like, I know that I am holding myself back and I cannot see or understand why. And then we started talking about some deeper things. Well, come to find out, yeah, there's some trauma in there that's holding her back. Okay. We all have this. We all have a blind spot, if not multiple blind spots. That's why we get coaching. That's why we get mentorship, right? To have others around us who are kind of seeing what we're not seeing, where we're like, wait, I know, because you can feel this in your body. You can feel when you're holding yourself back, and the universe will send you reflections when it's just not happening the way that you want it to happen. It'll start sending you mirrors in your results, right? Things may be going great, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait, what happened? That's an indication that it's time to look deeper. Okay. So let's see, what else do I want to say about this? So yeah, like the best, most impactful leaders that I've ever met, the best and most talented healers that I've ever met, the people who are the best at what they do you know the common theme that I have seen so far? They have all had some heavy shit that they've had to work through, really work through. Not, okay, here's a little warning. Allison's going to go on a rant. I'm not talking about like when things become cool in these like subcultures. Like we have subcultures of healers, we have subcultures of psychologists and therapists and people who've had a lot of, therapy. And it's like, yeah, shadow work this and shadow work that. And it's almost like it's this cool rite of passage. I will tell you right now, if you've done real shadow work, you're not out there bragging about it. It is not fun. It is not cool. It's not fun. It's not cool. However, it's absolutely necessary to integrate these shadows and these deeply difficult things that you have to look at and work through. It's necessary to integrate these in a safe manner, in a very gentle and loving manner. Shadow work's not gentle, but you can be gentle with yourself in the process so that you can alchemize the lead into gold. Because once that shift happens, you are absolutely unstoppable and the universe will bow at your feet. Okay? So how do we get there, right? How do we integrate? How do we really use that intention to bring the shadow work to make it useful, right? I'll tell you how. When you see it, don't shy away from it. But this is what I really want. If you only grab one thing from today, I want you to take this away with you. Do not operate out of fear. Do not operate out of the belief that you are wounded. You must claim your healing. Do you hear me? You must claim your healing inside. And if you have to brainwash yourself, you guys have heard me talk about this, where I had to go back and totally rewire my brain because I was so brainwashed by religion and all kinds of other things. If you have to go back and brainwash yourself to believe that you are healed because you don't believe it yet, that's fine. That's fine. But you have to make yourself believe and know that you're already healed. And then you operate and move from that place. Okay? Now, if you're still in the thick of it, that's okay, but you should not be in the thick of it for any longer than you have to be. Otherwise, do you know what you're dealing with? An identity. An identity. If your identity becomes about your wounds, you will never bring your goals to fruition, because your identity will be stuck in these wounds, and you'll be taking action and operating out of fear and insecurity and all these things, and then that you're going to like deposit that into the universe, and then the universe is going to give you results based on that frequency. Now, do I understand why you are scared and why you feel insecure and why all of those things are being triggered and all of that? Of course I do. Of course I do. And anyone who's been through the hard stuff knows as well why that comes up. But this is where your agency and your power comes to the table. And you are able to stand in your power and look at this. This is where I say, be gentle with yourself. Look at this patterning. Look at this like identity that's all wrapped up with being so wounded that you need the healing and you need the healing and you need the healing and you need the healing. Do we all need the healing? Yes, we do. However, we can be healed. I absolutely believe, and I do not say this lightly, it actually brings tears to my eyes. I absolutely believe that we are able to be healed in a moment from this really heavy stuff. You know, astrologically, Chiron's doing a lot of stuff right now in the sky. It's triggering a lot of our stuff. I've been going through some things behind the scenes too, and it's just like, you know, we will feel it. Let yourself feel it. Let yourself comfort the inner child within that has to work through that stuff. But do not walk forward in this world from a place of woundedness. You must claim your healing with authority, with knowingness, with clarity of intent. And then you take that and you deposit that into the universe. And then the universe hears you and starts returning the results that you are hoping for. Okay, I hope that this is making sense, because we're going super crazy deep right now with some really tender things. And I know I'm speaking with a lot of authority and power in my voice. It's because I've been there. It's because I've alchemized. And the life that is available to each and every one of us when we pick up our birthright and we know who we are and we remember who we are, it is the most glorious, beautiful existence available. It's just amazing. I mean, it's heaven on earth. There's a name for it, right? It's heaven on earth. So as Chiron continues to do its thing in the sky, and as we continue to take a deeper look at the trauma that has come to all of us, right? I mean, you haven't been on this earth for more than a few years, and to where you've experienced some really difficult stuff. Okay, so but we can look at it in a way that's going to keep us weak, that's going to keep us disempowered, and going to keep us operating out of that place. Or we can look at it and say, okay, I will do whatever's necessary to handle that stuff, but that does not define me. That is not my identity. Can you hear what I'm saying here? Right? So if I'm going to talk about brainwashing yourself, you bet your ass I'm going to tell you that you can create your own identity and you can live in that. You have the power to do that. Okay? It's all about your belief structures. It's all about how you think and how you choose to think about yourself, right? So I think of things a lot in architectural visions, I guess, is kind of how the inside of my brain works. It's like, if you have belief structure here and a belief here and a belief here and a belief here, then once you get so many beliefs together, you start building a building. That's what I would call your identity. And your identity is exactly what is going to bring you results in the quantum field. So if you're identifying as someone who is wounded and you're talking about what's happened, that's all in the past. That is all in the past. And so when we keep talking about it, we're bringing it forward and we're putting it out in the universe that we want to continue to experience that. Wait, what? Yeah, no. Right? I met someone recently and we've had these beautiful discussions about things that have happened because we've been through very similar things, right? We just get it. But we'll get to a point in the conversation. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to change the subject. I'm not going to bypass what happened. It did happen, but I'm not going to sit here and talk about it all day. No, I've got better things to do. I want to go create. I want to go talk to my new client. I want to go serve this person. I want to go hang out with my kids, right? You've got better things to do. So if you want to lead, and I'm speaking to the people with a big trauma because they really are the best leaders. You guys know you can connect with people on so many different layers and levels. You know how the inner world works because you've had to disassociate from really heavy, hard things in the past just to survive. Like you have these mental and emotional capabilities that some people may look at and say, oh, that's a weakness, complex PTSD is a weakness or this. It is a superpower if you know how to stand in your own power, right? So keep bringing the compassion to the conversation, keep showing up for yourself and your loved ones. But and when the trauma is triggered, let it be triggered. Do your regulating things, what you need to do to regulate yourself, and keep knowing that doesn't define you. Find out what does define you. Choose it. Make a list of your values. And choose to identify with that, right? Choose to identify with that. And then start acting, behaving from that place and see what kind of results start showing up in your business. As I like to say, 80 to 90% of business results are energetics. Energetics, mindset shifts, limiting beliefs and working through those. That's 80 to 90% of business results. 10 to 20% strategy. You need both. If you don't have the strategy, you've only got 80 to 90%. You don't have 100%. You do need both. But the work, your energy, the lion's share of your thinking mind and your creativity needs to be going to things like this. Okay, so I hope this resonated for you. If it does, send me a DM on Instagram at Alchemy with Allison. And I have to mention the Costa Rica retreat is, let's see, I got a countdown today, 144 days away. That is plenty of time to book tickets at a good price and get things in order for May the 30th. Guys, being in person in this particular jungle, so close to this particular ocean, and in this place where there's energetic grids laid by the crystals that are laid in the ground and buried in the ground, and being in the energy of such facilitators. I cannot wait to share. There are some details I can't share yet because they're still manifesting and coming to fruition. But the people that are being called into this experience are healers, they are leaders, and they have a mission on their heart to get into the world. And we are going to activate that in the most powerful way you could possibly imagine. If you have questions about this, please DM me, reach out to me. You can find more information in the show notes. I think that's all I have to say about that. Yeah. And there is one spot left for one-on-one mentorship. If you are interested in that, reach out and let me know. Just send me a DM. I check my DMs every day, and I would love to hear from you. I hope 2025 is off to a beautiful start, and I will see you soon. Namaste.